Those pinching claws they have. But they have nothing on this very mysterious animal. Globsters are gigantic hairy sea monsters that wash up on beaches. No, this is not something from a movie. This actually happens in real life. Locals who stumble across these are often confused and scared. And you can see why. The most mysterious thing is, scientists don't know what they are. What we do know is they're unidentified organic masses. This means they are living things. But they have not been identified as any kind of animal just yet. The first globster was seen in 1808, and since then there have only been 8 other recorded globster sightings. They can sometimes be over 20 feet long, and some believe they could be a new species of animal we have not yet identified.
It's called globster. It looked like a fucking blob, a water sloth. What the fuck is that?
However, others believe they are carcasses of other animals, such as sharks and whales. Its long fuzzy hair could actually be muscle fibers decomposing, but other researchers disagree that these are carcasses. They have no heads, no eyes, and no bones. So right now we really don't know what these are. It would be great to research these more, but unfortunately they're very rare.
It's just a carcass from a whale. No head, no eyes, and no bones. Carcasses got head, eyes, and bones. They decompose, they get rotten. If they don't do all of that, it's not a carcass. That's just common sense.
Raining birds. In 2011, it was New Year's Eve in Arkansas, USA. People were having a great day until suddenly the weather changed. It began raining, but not with rain. Instead, it began to rain ravens. That's right, dead raven birds were falling from the sky. Over 5,000 of these blackbirds fell from the sky. The phenomena remains unexplained to this day. No one is sure.
2011, I remember hearing about that. Nas had that song where he said, I saw a dead bird fly through a broken sky. When I heard about all them dead birds falling out the sky, I thought about that bar and I was like, is this nigga predicting shit? But he said one bird, but you know.
Or how 5,000 birds flying in the sky can suddenly pass away. Scientists found that they passed away from internal trauma, but there were no signs of damage on their outer bodies. There was also no sign that these birds were sick in any way. This led to many theories, such as a big government test. And some even said these birds may have been intercepted by alien life. But of course, there's no proof for any of that, and it's merely speculation. Narcisse snake dens. Are you afraid of snakes? Well then don't go to Narcisse in Manitoba, Canada. Every spring and autumn a gigantic congregation of snakes forms here. Thousands from around the world travel here to view these massive snake dens. Thousands of snakes can be seen here crawling on top of one another. These snake dens can sometimes be as wide as 20 feet across. The good thing is you won't stumble onto these by accident. You can hear them from far away. All of the rustling between leaves and branches is very loud. And of course all of the hissing is very loud as well. If you do pay a visit, then be sure to double check your luggage before you make it back home. Otherwise you...
Imagine all them damn snakes. That's like hell to some people. Some people, hell, the perception of hell is just burning fire, fire, fire. What about people who love fire? That's not hell to them. It gotta be something you hate, I believe.
You might recreate snakes on a plane in real life. Headless animals.
Headless?
It's no secret that humans cannot live without heads. But this is not the case for all animals. Believe it or not, some animals can do just fine without heads. And I don't just mean small animals like insects. For example, one day a man was doing some yard work in his backyard in Texas, USA. That was when he noticed a 1 meter long rattlesnake. Of course, these are very dangerous and the guy had a shovel in hand. So he quickly took his shovel and removed the rattlesnake's head. But when he bent down to pick up the head, it bit him.
Damn.
That's right, snakes can live for some time with no head, or no body depending on how you look at it. But how exactly does this happen? It's not because this snake is some kind of zombie. If humans lose their heads, then they would pass away instantly.
Even if you think something dead, like frog legs, when they chopped off, sometimes the muscle, it's a scientific word, but it really means that they just keep on retracting, jumping, moving. So if it's a jaw or a head that can bite you, don't fuck with it. Even though it's disconnected, you think it's dead, all it takes is one motion.
But snakes get heat and energy from sunlight and warm surfaces. This means they don't get all of their energy from oxygen like us mammals do. But snakes aren't the only animals that can happily live without heads. In 1945, a farmer tried to cut off the head of a chicken. He was hoping to eat the chicken for dinner, but to his surprise, after cutting off the chicken's head, it continued to walk around. The farmer decided that this chicken was meant to live. He continued to feed and water it using an eyedropper, and the chicken only passed away when he lost the eyedropper. But how exactly did this happen? Well, scientists...
So the term, old phrase, when they say running like a chicken with his head cut off, the term came from somewhere. So apparently, there's been a lot of... Apparently, there's been a lot of chickens running with their head cut off since way back.
The University of Utah examined the chicken. They found out that the farmer had barely missed the chicken's brainstem. It's pretty amazing that this chicken lived for 18 months with no head. It actually became pretty famous in the local area, and it was named Mike the Headless Chicken.
Mike the Headless
Fish
Chicken.
teaching. In 2012, people in Norway were enjoying new...
This necklace is a new piece of my soul.
It is one of my love languages to gift.
I always...
But that was when thousands of dead fish washed up on a beach. There were so many fish that they weighed an estimated 20 tons. But here's where things get crazy. Before anyone could even count the fish, let alone clean them up, the fish disappeared. No one's sure how these fish all washed up and then disappeared within a few hours. The fish clearly weren't alive as they were no longer in water. So how on earth did they simply vanish? It makes no sense. And this mysteriously also happened on New Year's Eve, just like the raining birds in Arkansas. There must be something about the year changing that makes animals go seriously strange. Crab migration.
Well, how the hell all the fish disappeared? That's some shit. The aliens had a fish fry? What the fuck going on?
Located in the Indian Ocean off the coast of Australia is an island named Christmas Island. It's an amazing and very beautiful place. But between October and December every year, something amazing happens on this island. All of the red crabs on the island start a massive migration to the other side of the island. All of the red crabs on the island leave the inland and go to the coast. They dip into the ocean to replenish their body salts. Massive areas of the beaches are turned totally red, making it impossible to walk anywhere without stepping on thousands of tiny crabs. It is inconvenient for locals, but it sure is an amazing sight to see. Glowing sea. The islands of the Maldives are beautiful, but during the nighttime they turn from beautiful.
So why they call disease crab? So that means that place is infected with disease.
To mysteriously beautiful. All of the waves appear to glow blue. It looks like someone's put glow sticks in the water. But this is a totally natural phenomena caused by animals. A tiny plankton named Dioflagenates causes this. The plankton produces a blue glow when it senses movement.
So you mean to tell me Aaliyah and Rihanna and them ain't did no video shoots on that? You rich motherfuckers ain't got no creativity? Oh y'all, not Rihanna and Aaliyah, rest in peace to Aaliyah. I'm talking about the people who design their videos. All the people who supposed to be like, oh man, it's this place where this and this place where that. Once you see these beautiful backgrounds, why come y'all not utilizing them? Watch me watch when I get rich. I'm gonna show you what to do.
Orange alligators.
Orange
Everyone knows alligators are green, but it seems orange is the new green. Recently, there have been many mysterious sightings of orange alligators. These have been seen all over the US, but mainly in South Carolina. Many believed these were a new species of alligators, but other people give a different explanation. During the winter, alligators seek a place to hibernate. It's believed these alligators settled into a drain pipe. This leaves them coated in a layer of orange rust. So these are basically rusty alligators. Mayfly swarms. On their own, mayflies are tiny, but when in a swarm, they're so huge they can be spotted by satellites in space. In these swarms, there are millions of tiny mayflies. Some can even span 80 miles wide. When they finally pass away, they can coat entire areas of cities in their remains. Just imagine the sound of walking through this. I think it would be kind of oddly satisfying. Mayfly swarms aren't always a bad thing. They can be a sign that nearby bodies of water are healthy and clean. But of course you don't want to get caught up in one of these gigantic swarms. Otherwise you might just end up like the villain in Indiana Jones. Storks. What's the worst thing your mother's ever done? Maybe every time you drove past a McDonald's, she would say there's food at home. Or maybe she didn't get you that one Christmas gift you wanted. Whatever it is, I bet it pales in comparison to what storks do to their kids every day. Take a look at this stork throwing its baby out of the nest.
Damn.
No, this stork is not teaching its kid to fly. Instead, it's trying to get rid of its kids on purpose. Yep, storks have a nasty habit of simply yeeting their kids out of their nests. It's ironic that storks are seen as the bearers of life, but storks intentionally kill their own offspring. This behavior is normal in storks. Storks do this when there's not enough food to go around. Instead of splitting the food up and having all of their babies die, they simply sacrifice one or two.
So, let's make America's fantasy legacies based on where babies come from about the bird that kills its kids. Fucking twist the country.
This means their remaining kids have enough food to be healthy, and it massively increases their babies' chance of survival. Storks normally give birth to too many chicks, and only the healthiest and strongest will survive. If some storks aren't being aggressive enough when the mother comes and delivers food to the nest, then they may be getting tossed out. For storks, it is a brutal world. You literally have to fight your siblings in order to eat, and if you lose the fight, then your own mother will kill you. Pandas. Pandas are a species in decline. It's no secret that they're endangered and soon won't be around. There are many reasons why that is, but one of the reasons is because pandas are such bad parents. A lot of the time, pandas...
Are you ready to see your fixer-upper?
How do we know you'll love pretzel crust? Because this person begged us to never tease them again about their precious pretzel crust. Well, guess what?
A lot of the time, pandas give birth to twins, but there's a big problem with this. Pandas are only able to look after one baby at a time. This means when twins are born, one of them is totally abandoned. Baby pandas are born helpless. They're tiny, hairless, and blind. Because baby pandas are hairless, they must always be held to their mother's body. Otherwise, they could get too cold and pass away. Panda mothers literally have to do everything for their babies. But they can only manage one baby at once. In the wild, there's nothing we can really do. And sadly, many baby pandas simply don't make it, as they're abandoned. But in captivity, humans have found a way to make sure that both baby pandas survive. Soon after birth, caretakers take one of the panda's babies away. They basically deceive the panda and make it think it only gave birth to one baby. They put one of the babies into a warm incubator and swap them out every so often. Pandas aren't that smart, so
y'all be hearing this? They trick the pandas and make them think they only gave birth to one baby. Nah, we can't talk to pandas. We can't communicate with pandas. They don't speak English words. However, I'm willing to bet that that animal knew how many kids it just gave birth to. I'm just saying, I think animals are aware. You can't just trick an animal. You only have one baby. Okay.
mother can't tell the difference. It has no idea that the one baby they're caring for is actually two, but humans keep swapping them in and out. This way, both babies get to spend some time with their mother, and the remaining time is spent inside an incubator and being fed by humans. These babies...
Now the animal don't know that it's two babies, they just switch them. So what if one a boy, one a girl? A mama don't know the difference. Alright, I'm gonna let y'all know.
Pandas are swapped out around 10 times a day, and the mother panda easily believes that she's only given birth to one baby. Dolphins. Many people see dolphins as cute and innocent animals, but those people probably haven't heard of dolphins' parenting practices. In 2013, US researchers witnessed the birth of a baby dolphin, but what happened next shocked all of the researchers. About 2 minutes after the baby dolphin was born, its father tried to drown it.
Damn.
The father kept trying to push the dolphin underwater, and its mother had to keep pulling it up out of the water so that it could breathe. The father kept pushing the baby down for about 30 minutes. Dolphins doing this is actually fairly rare, but it can happen. The mysterious thing is we don't know why some dolphins do this. Some believe male dolphins may feel threatened by newborn males, while others believe that dolphins kill their own kids just for fun. Dolphins are known to murder other animals for the fun of it, and it seems sometimes this even extends to their own offspring. Seals. Human parents normally look after their kids for about 18 years, but for harp seals, the mother-child bond only lasts for 12 days. After 12 days, the harp seal mother abandons its kid. After 12 days, they give them no food and no protection. They are left to fend for themselves. And as a result, 30% of all harp seals pass away in their first year of life. That is incredibly sad. Cuckoos. Cuckoos are nicknamed the worst mothers in the animal kingdom. That is because they're known for abandoning their kids, and they do it before they're even born. Cuckoos often pick up their own eggs and put them in other birds' nests.
Man, listen. Birds is putting their kids on other birds' nests. Dolphins are killing their own kids for fun. I don't think humans that bad. These animals is treacherous and savage. I didn't know. I thought I was just hearing some regular phenomenons recorded that we wouldn't believe they weren't recorded. I didn't know it was all this savagery going on in the animal kingdom.
A totally different species to look after and raise their kids. That's right, many cuckoos are not even raised by cuckoos. Sometimes this does not go well for the cuckoo baby. They may not be welcome in their new nest and may be thrown out. And in some cases, they're even eaten by the other birds. Alligators. In 2016, photographer Andrew Lilliquist was observing some alligators in Florida. He noticed one of the alligators was eating something. But when Andrew realized what the alligator was chowing down on, he was shocked. The cannibal alligator was eating its own offspring as a snack. Andrew caught these very unusual images, proving that alligators are some of the worst parents in the animal kingdom. Cannibalism is actually common among alligators, but it does not normally extend to their own babies. But it may explain the very high mortality rates among young alligators. 80% of young alligators pass away in their first few years of life. Alligators also don't even feed their own young. Once alligators are born, they have to hunt food themselves. That is, if their own parents don't eat them first. Hippos. Hippos are very ferocious and scary. They are known to attack any human or animal who goes anywhere near their kids. That is because they're quite protective parents. But sometimes the only thing baby hippos have to worry about is their own parents. Sometimes mother hippos eat and kill their own offspring. This normally happens to younger male hippos. This is because the hippos worry their dominance is being threatened. In 2019, photographer Adrian Hershey caught this amazing image of a hippo eating its baby. Another factor why this may happen is because of hippo overpopulation. Sometimes hippos realize there's not enough food to go around. So that's why they decrease the hippo population by eating their own offspring. I think it's safe to say that while not all human parents are perfect, they're generally a lot better than animal parents. It's a miracle there's so many animals in the wild, seeing as they have such a tough upbringing. But that's probably why some animals are so scary and aggressive. Oak leaf butterfly. If you saw this on the ground, you'd probably walk right past it. It's merely a dead leaf from a tree, right?
Wrong.
Meet Ahmed, our new interpreter.
That man saved my life. Ahmed ended up with a price on his head from the Taliban. And now I have to go save his.
Guy reaches the covenant. Rated R.
It's merely a dead leaf from a tree, right? Well, that is where you'd be wrong.
Oh,
That's because they're not leaves at all. Instead, they're butterflies in disguise. When the oak leaf butterfly's wings are closed, they look like a dried autumn leaf. This not only looks cool, but it also protects this butterfly's life. It's basically the best camouflage any butterfly could want. No predators would ever target a leaf. And by the time the predator realizes it's a butterfly, the oak leaf butterfly would have flown away. These butterflies are found in tropical Asia, ranging from India to Japan. They're also found in Laos, Taiwan, Vietnam, and Thailand. But just when you thought this butterfly could not get any more genius, it even changes its look during the seasons. During a wet season, for example, it looks like this, kind of like a leaf which has been damaged by the elements. But during dry seasons, it looks like this, very dry, very warm, and intact. And even the inside of its wings, which are coloured, changes with the seasons. During wet seasons, the butterfly looks like this, but during dry season, it looks more muted and violet, like this. The more you look, the more amazing and genius this animal becomes. Salpa majore. Have you ever seen an invisible fish? Well, believe it or not, they actually exist. These fish are found in the Southern Ocean. They range in size, but can grow up to 10 inches long. What's amazing is when salpers eat other fish, you can see what they ate inside their bodies. The reason why these fish are transparent is to hide from predators. In the water, other fish may not even notice salpa majores, and as a result, they can swim around anywhere stealth-like. Salpa majores also use electrical currents to communicate with each other. This is definitely one of the most mysterious animals the ocean has to offer. Snow leopard. You may think that if a snow leopard was coming at you, you would see it right away. But that's not how these animals operate. Many don't realize it, but snow leopards are masters of disguise. Take this image for example. You may not know it, but you're looking at a snow leopard.
Where?
Can't see it? Still can't see it? Okay, if you haven't seen it by now, then the snow leopard would have ran at you and eaten you. I'll give you a helping hand. The snow leopard is right here. This incredible photo was captured by Saurabh Desai, an Indian photographer. He must have been very eagle-eyed, because he saw this snow leopard hunting him down. The image was taken in the Himalayas in northern India. In the local language, the snow leopard is known as the grey ghost. That's because it camouflages itself so well. Saurabh Desai spent 3 years trying to get this photo. Although there are many snow leopards in the Himalayas, they're very hard to find. They could be all around you, but because they're so camouflaged, you may not know. Snow leopards are apex predators, so they don't use their disguise for hiding. Instead, they use it to stalk their prey. Their prey has no idea what's coming. 1 second, nothing is around them in the rocky environment, and the next second, they're a snow leopard's meal. It sure is a tough life for the prey of a snow leopard. Just imagine if the animal hunting you could go invisible. That's pretty much what happens with snow leopards. Leptocephalus. This underwater eel is completely transparent. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Just look how the graph paper barely distorts around this fish. Under the water, this animal is invisible, and that means it can hide from any predators. This eel is also completely flat. You can see why many people call this the ghost eel. Leptocephalus are rare to find, but they have been seen off the coast of Bali. Their bodies are radically compressed, and their organs and muscles are vastly reduced. Their gut is simply a tube, which is this stripe going down the middle of their bodies. Inside, their bodies contain a transparent, jelly-like substance. They are the only known animal like this. Clearly, these very thin animals are not eating anyone else in the sea, but their thin, invisible bodies means they don't have to run away from any predators. They won't even be seen in the first place. Leaf-tailed gecko. Take a look at this.
Invisible eels and invisible fish. You won't find me in no water.
No, that's not merely a leaf on a tree. That is a gecko in disguise. Leaf-tailed geckos are nocturnal lizards that live in the forest. They are found in Madagascar and the oceanic islands. They can change color to whatever environment they're in, and also take up the shape of their natural surroundings. For example, leaves or tree bark. The lizard's camouflage allows it to hide from any predators. But if they do get seen, they have a trick up their sleeve. They can let out a terrifying scream to frighten off any foes. Their screams have even been known to scare humans who go into forests where these live. These are definitely the most stealthy lizards out there, until they're seen by predators when they begin to scream like maniacs. Right-eyed flounder. You may think you're looking at a pile of sand here, but no, this is a right-eyed flounder. This fish is so good at camouflaging, it's practically invisible. The right-eyed flounder blends in with the colors and textures of the sea floor. These fish are found all over the world, but you would have to be very eagle-eyed to actually spot one. They get their name because they have very flat bodies and two googly eyes that sit on the right side of their head. This allows them to see what's above them, while they swim along the ocean floor. These fish are known to change their colors if they're seen by divers. Turns out these fish are so antisocial they don't just dislike other fish, but humans too. Then again, that is what keeps them alive. Sea walnut. Many mistake these sea creatures for aliens. Before you laugh, look at them and you'll understand why. They appear to have glowing LED lights all over them. If you told me these came from another planet, I would believe you.
Cheese it, snapped. How's it taste? It's so thin, crispy.
We have alien fish.
The planet, I would believe you. But no, these are found off the coast of North and South America, and they are now being seen in European and Asian waters too. It seems these alien fish are taking over the world. They've even destroyed fisheries in many countries. That's because they eat a lot of fish. Sea walnuts are made of 97% water, and that's why you can almost see through them. These animals are fairly newly discovered. They were first seen in the Black Sea in 1982. Just imagine what people thought when they saw these for the first time. Unlike other ctenophores, this animal does not sting, but it is covered in a sticky adhesive substance. They basically stick their prey to them and then eat them. This animal makes me never want to go in the sea again. Eastern screech owl. We're all familiar with owls, but how many owls have you actually seen? For most people, including myself, the number will be 0. That's because owls are incredibly good at camouflaging. Eastern screech owls can turn invisible in their surroundings. Their feathers can help them distort their shadows, and this means they can blend in seamlessly with tree bark. You've probably walked by many owls before and simply not noticed. This not only allows owls to hide from predators, but they can also hide out in search of mice and other small prey, and then swoop down and go in for a stealth kill. Babirusa. Babirusas are very similar to pigs, but they have a few major differences. For one, they're slightly taller and their skin is more tough. But the most obvious difference is their horns. They not only have 2 lower horns like many animals do, but they also have 2 upper horns as well. You may think these 4 fangs are great. After all, they allow Babirusas to battle off their enemies. And that is true, they can be useful. The only downside is, these horns never stop growing. Yep, a major design flaw of these horns is that they keep growing throughout a Babirusa's life. Because these horns curve upwards, they can sometimes grow into the animal's head. It would be like your teeth growing upwards and entering your brain. Of course, this can eventually take the Babirusa's life. Its horns can literally grow into its skull, and when it enters its brain, then the animal can pass away. These are also badly designed because they block Babirusa's view. But thankfully, nature did cut these animals a break. Luckily, their horns are very fragile. In most cases, having fragile horns would be a bad thing. But in this case, it means that Babirusa's horns sometimes break before entering their brains. If Babirusas are in the wild, they have to hope they get lucky and their horns break off. This can sometimes happen during fights, and if they're in captivity, then humans will need to remove these horns on a regular basis. Either way, I think it's safe to say this animal got the middle finger from evolution.
Damn.
Turtle. Turtles and tortoises are often called indestructible animals. They are known to live for over 100 years, and they are protected by their shells. Their shells are incredibly strong. Seriously, if the army could use these on tactical gear, then they would. But it turns out that nature gave turtles a major design flaw, one that often ends their lives. That is that if a turtle rolls onto its back, it can't roll back over. If you're a turtle and this happens, you'd better pray that you have a rounded shell, because if you don't, then there's a good chance you will never roll back over. If a turtle gets stuck on its back, there are various ways its life can end. The most common is from the sun. The turtle is not shaded by its shell at all, and it also can't move anywhere to get water, so it basically gets slow cooked by the sun. That is brutal. If the turtle is not in a sunny place, it can simply starve. Because it can't move anywhere or eat, it basically starves and passes away. And another very common way they pass away when flipped over is due to predators. They are totally helpless and can't defend themselves. They can't even seek shelter inside their shells. So for any predators, it's basically open season. Reindeer. Reindeer antlers are very sharp and very large. Combined with the body strength of a reindeer, they can be fierce weapons. But reindeer's antlers often cause them to lose their own lives. You see, reindeer often spar each other. It's very normal for males to battle over females, kind of similar to humans. But when reindeers fight, normally only one of them walks away alive. However, during some of these fights, the antlers can get intertwined. This means the reindeer can't move properly. They also can't eat or drink and eventually pass away. If this happens near water, the reindeer can sometimes fall in and get frozen. Sometimes people come across reindeer who have become intertwined. They end up freeing them by cutting their antlers. This is painless and can save the reindeer's lives. Argali. Argalies are also known as mountain sheep. They're mainly found in Central and Eastern Asia. Argalies are the largest type of rams in the world, and they're famous for their very bulky horns. Their horns are great for battling rivals, but they come with a major design flaw. They are in a very unique corkscrew shape, and
Oh shit. Y'all hit the like button, comment. Mr. Break shit down. Tell me what y'all want me to break down next.